Hello, Patriots. I'm Lee Watts, and this is Patriot Point, your source for Kentucky news and analysis from a conservative, Christian, and common sense point of view. Well, as you can see this week, I am not back in my office yet. I have some more speaking engagements here across the Commonwealth we're at, but still wanted to bring you some important stories going on. We're going to look at three different things this week. First of all, we're going to look at how Governor Andy Beshear is again attacking President Trump and accusing him of some crazy things. How Andy Beshear is traveling the country and even out of country to raise support for his presidential run, and he is doing this on your tax dollar. And then we're going to be looking at this weekend's planned protest, the anti-Trump No Kings protest. And it's got some crazy things going on as well. First of all, let's look. Andy Pandy is at it again. He is attacking President Trump. In the state of New Jersey, their largest online news source, they have this article. Presidential hopeful, that's Andy Beshear, hurls major accusation at Trump. Now, what he is accusing President Trump of in this article is that he is using you, the American family, as props. I didn't realize I was being used as a prop. And then he's trying to gaslight everybody. And he says, and he's over there in New Jersey, that the Democrats are not the ones that are causing the shutdown. Donald Trump is causing the government shutdown. When I heard him say this, it kind of reminded me of this.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Yes, I think Andy Beshear is trying to use the Jedi mind trick, saying, hey, it is Donald Trump who is causing the government shutdowns, not the Democrats. We're not buying it, Andy Pandy. Andy Beshear is also using Kentucky taxpayer money to file multiple lawsuits against President Trump and what he is doing. According to the British-Iranian journalist Christian Amanpour, the chief international correspondent for CNN News, by the way, she reports that Andy Beshear says what Trump is doing to America is, quote, a punch in the face of rural America, end quote. According to Bloomberg News this week, Andy Beshear has attacked Donald Trump because of the trade war. I would like to remind you, by the way, we're winning the trade war, and Donald Trump's tariffs are bringing in $350 billion into the United States just this year, and more is expected each subsequent year of his presidency. That is winning.
We're winning. We're winning. We're winning.
And finally, there's a newspaper out of Dawson Springs, Kentucky, quoting Andy Beshear this week. And Andy Beshear says that President Trump is, quote, scary, dangerous, and un-American. Once again, I think Andy Beshear is trying to pull the Jedi mind trick. Donald Trump is the one who is anti-America.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Yeah, we're not buying that Jedi mind trick, Andy Pandy. Second of our three topics this week is we want to look at how Andy Beshear is campaigning for president, and he is using your tax dollars to do it. Now, of course, I'm not going to be voting for him when he runs for president, but he is free to run. That is his right. He's free to do that. However, I do have a major problem with him using Kentucky taxpayer money to fund and run his campaign. Let's look at how he is doing that right now. Because he's traveling all across the country and even out of country to really, you can call it whatever you will, he's trying to push his name recognition and connections and raise funds for his presidential campaign. So I'm going to run this little thing right now called Where's Andy Pandy at? Where's Andy? Well, he's certainly not in Kentucky because here's where we're paying him to be governor here, but he's traveling everywhere else. Just last week, he was over in New Hampshire working on his campaign. Call it whatever you will. While over there, MSN News talked about his New Hampshire trip, and they said, quote, Beshear has acknowledged considering running for president. Why? That's why he was over there. Just this week, he made trips over to Ireland and to the United Kingdom and to France. Now, you may say, well, maybe he's supposed to take these trips. Well, I wonder, why is he taking his family on these trips? If he's going for Kentucky business, well, you might try to justify that. I don't buy it, but you might try. But there's no way you can justify taking your family on these European vacations. We're not supposed to be paying for those trips and vacations. And of course, he this week has also made campaign stops over in New York State. Once again, we're not paying you to do that, Andy. You're supposed to be here being the governor. Just last year, Andy Beshear spent $81,000 of Kentucky taxpayer money to take his family, not just him, but his family, on a trip over to Switzerland. While he was there, he was speaking at the World Economic Forum. It's Halloween time. If you want to look up something scary, read a scary story, read about the plans of the World Economic Forum and their globalist agenda and all the elitists over there, and why is Andy Pandy taking trips over there with his family and we are having to pay for it. And then third and finally this week, I want to talk about the anti-Trump protests, the No Kings protests that are set for this weekend in cities throughout America, including Louisville, Lexington, Bowling Green, and others. I hope it's not like the mostly peaceful protest that the BLM protesters had a few years ago, or the mostly peaceful anti-ICE riots that we saw just a few months ago. But just to be fair, who among us really hasn't set a police car on fire because we disagreed with a policy? I mean, who among us really hasn't thrown bricks through windows of businesses or Molotov cocktails at the street at police officers just because we didn't like what was going on? I mean, can we really cast the first stone? And you have to wonder, what are these anti-Trump, these No Kings protesters, what are they protesting for? What is it that they want? Do they want peace in the Middle East? Oh, well, wait a minute. No, Trump secured that here just the other day. Maybe they want to end the conflict and the killing in Gaza. Oh, wait a minute. No, Trump ended that killing this week, didn't he? Well, maybe they want to protest a free Palestine. Oh, no, again, Trump secured that this week, didn't he? Now, most of these people are protesting and they have no idea why. What you're going to hear repeatedly is that they are protesting against fascism and have absolutely no idea what that is or what they are saying. They're simply repeating a term they were told to repeat. Let me give you an example of this.
We don't want fascists on our campus. We don't want to support that here.
What is fascism?
Immigration. I don't know. I'm not like a political scientist. I'm not good at interviews. You should ask someone else.
Yeah, it's a good example. These people repeating things and terms, they have no idea what it is. If you actually look up in history and see what the fascists actually did and stood for, it is every single thing the left is pushing for nowadays, including political violence. So this weekend, it's a good opportunity. Take your kids by these No Kings, No Trump Day protests and let them see the protesters. And it'd be a good example. You can say, now, son, daughter, you study history or you're going to turn out like that. And you certainly wouldn't want to do that. So that's some of the news, what we got going on right now, some of our governor's plans, what he's trying to do, and how he is spending your money. Don't forget, you can now visit the Patriot Point store online where you can get shirts, hats, mugs, and other things. And I hope those will be something you'll enjoy to have. Well, that's the news for this week, Patriots. So until next week, I'm Lee Watts for Patriot Point, reminding you that liberty is not a spectator sport.